Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the Buildcorp National Women's 15s Championship. My name is Patrick Folkes and I'm joined for all the action here on day 2 by Wallaroo Molly Gray. Molly, good morning to you. Welcome back to Runaway Bay Sports Centre on the Gold Coast.
Good morning to you, Patrick. How are you this morning?
Stellar. Absolutely stellar.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, very exciting day. With first game of day 2, the final pool matches today to decide who will head into the top part of the competition, who will head into the bottom part. We've got your beloved Australian Defence Force side taking on the South Australian Barbarians. What's your thoughts on this match?
Well, I mean, obviously there's going to be a little bit of bias from me today throughout this match because the ADFRU team is my team. But I think it's going to be a really good contest between the ADFRU and the South Australian Barbarian team. I think it'll be good. I think we're in for quite a show. Yeah,
it's certainly looking that way. Australian Defence Force, they would have been disappointed with their second loss yesterday to Sydney. They went down 63-0. Probably not a fair reflection of where the side actually sits at in terms of skill level, would you say, Molly?
I think the ADFRU team always know what they're walking into when they do play against Sydney. Sydney is, they're back-to-back winners of this national tournament, and they are a very skilled team. They've got a lot of experience, and I think what the ADFRU team take away every single time is some experience and some really good fixes for themselves. So I think they'll take what they learned yesterday into this game today, and it'll make them a better team today. You'll see a good show from them during this game.
Well, the Australian Defence Force side is making their way onto the field. It's partly cloudy today here on the Gold Coast, though we are seeing some sun this morning, but we are expecting a bit more rain today, so that should make for some interesting conditions this afternoon.
Pat, you're sounding a bit like a weatherman at the moment.
I love talking about the weather. So we're ready for this first game of day 2 of the Buildcorp National Women's 15s Championship. It'll be the Australian Defence Force side to kick off with Lucy Lockhart about to start this match for us here this morning. And she does so, sends the ball high. And Chloe Butler lets that one bounce. And that's going to go into touch, and that's not a great start by South Australia. The Australian Defence Force side comprised of members of all service arms of the Australian Defence Force. And the ball's taken, and Lockhart dives in to gather it. But it looks like South Australia may have pinched this, but first knock on of the game, so we'll have a scrum. How do you think the South Australian pack will go against Australian Defence Force, Molly?
I'm not too sure. I think we're about to find out. I think yesterday the standard of scrums was quite high from both the South Australian team and the ADFRU team. I think it'll be a fair contest today. First one of the game though, so I think there'll be a couple of get rid of some cobwebs.
So the first scrum about to be fed by Lucy Lockhart. Scrum half. Nicole Hall, the fly half for Australian Defence Force, stands ready. And a pretty deep back line there for the ADF. Lockhart feeds the ball in, and scrum is starting to wheel. And it's a full-arm penalty to South Australia. Player in the scrum using their hands to rake the ball back. You can't do that. Unless you're grabbing the ball, I believe.
This is true, Pat. You cannot.
You know all about that, Molly?
I do. That is my position. As much as I would love to be out there with them today, I am not, but I'm here with you.
So South Australia now with a attacking opportunity after a few false starts. And Avril Mitchell will throw the ball in for South Australia. Lockhart, though, comes away with the ball. And this is Australian Defence Force on the attack. Sharon Laws, making that charge. Lockhart keeps the ball on the forwards. ADF now making it to that second phase finally. Keeps it on that right-hand side of the field. There's been an offload, but the ball is loose. And that is a poor carry. So we'll come back for the scrum. Knock on by the ADF, and South Australian Barbarians lit off the hook again.
They have. They've got another opportunity here, so hopefully they can keep the ball in their hands this time and start moving up the field towards their try line.
So second scrum of the day, we saw South Australia really put some pressure on the ADF. But the referee not happy with this set. Still 0-0 between these two sides. We're live on Rugby.com.au across all 3 days of this championship as South Australia get the ball and throw it on the inside. And that's Alexandra Middleton. Gets a couple of good meters there. Numbers on this right-hand side for South Australia, they move quickly. And they get the ball out. And that's Alana Alicia. She's got such a powerful leg drive on there. Gets the ball just over halfway, and they go to the left with an offload. But miscommunication between the South Australian Barbarians leads to a knock-on, and neither side really opening up the throttle yet. Molly, still early in the day.
Still early in the day. I think they're finding their feet for the morning. It was a big day yesterday. 2 games played for each team, so they'll get there. They're finding their feet for the morning.
Longer game time today. Obviously, this is a 3-day championship with back-to-back games, so we'll have closer to full match conditions with 30-minute halves today. Just 20-minute halves yesterday. And 35-minute halves tomorrow.
I bet you they're loving all these scrums as well. That was the joke.
Lockhart gets the ball off the back. And the ADF now finding some meters, and that's an excellent run by Sarah Reardon. ADF keep the ball in the forwards. That's Brooke Moslin. Gets the ball just on the 22. Lockhart with the pass, but that's been spilled. And the referee's going to award a full-arm penalty. Is it playing the ball from an offside position, Molly?
It looks to be that way, Pat. Another scrum. They're definitely going to be loving all these scrums. Good practice for them, I think.
I think it'll be a just kick for touch.
Ah, here we go. What I'm loving about the ADF side today is that even though they don't have their skipper, Alicia Hewitt, who's now been ruled out for the rest of the day with an ankle injury, that they still got a lot of go forward. So they've got being led by Lucy Lockhart this time, and it's good to see that they're still moving forward.
And that ball's gone in touch. What's the question without notice, Molly, but what's the breakdown of the ADF side? Which armed services providing the most players? Army, Navy?
I would say Army.
Army?
Yeah, it's mostly Army. And then I think followed behind that would probably be the Navy, and then there's a couple of Air Force girls in there as well. But you generally find that the Army make up the majority of the numbers for this ADF team.
And there was a knock on there off that line out. So we'll have our 4th scrum of the game. 0-0 between Australian Defence Force. And if you've just joined us on Rugby.com.au, welcome to day 2 of the Buildcorp National Women's 15s Championship. And we've got 4 games of action coming live to you today. We'll have Australian Sevens player Shannon Parry joining us in commentary later this afternoon as Lucy Lockhart grabs the ball off the back of the line out. Oh, no, that's not Lockhart. Lockhart gets the ball now. Gets the ball out to that right-hand side. ADF looking to get a couple extra phases. They haven't been able to build momentum yet. They keep the ball on the forwards, but that's great defence by South Australia. Lockhart gets the ball to Brooke Moslin. Lockhart looks to go right, and she does so. And there's a couple extra metres there by Sharon Laws. This is good from the ADF. They've got an advantage. Not rolling away. And that was a real theme of the day yesterday in terms of the breakdown, Molly. I wonder if the referees talked about that last night.
I'd say that was probably one of the main topics of the referee chats yesterday.
ADF point to the posts. They're going to kick, have a penalty kick. So showing some respect for South Australia's defence. That's Nikki Hall making the kick. The ball looks high, and it's over. So first points of day 2 here, the National Women's 15s Championship. It's Australian Defence Force 3, South Australia yet to score, and maybe a nerve settler for the ADF.
I think you're right, Pat. I think it's going to be a very good nerve settler for them. I think now that they've got some points on the board, they can sort of start focusing and start working their way up the field and trying to get out a lot more sets instead of losing the ball every so often.
So South Australia restart, and that ball, it's gone backwards. That put the ADF under pressure. Attempted intercept, doesn't come off though. ADF just happy to keep it in the forwards. And just Trudy Hall probably look to do a box kick. So ADF get the penalty. Nicole Hall looks to clear the lines. Doesn't get a huge amount of meters though. You can really see the advantage of some of the bigger sides like Queensland and Sydney when they've got a big kicker. How that territorial kick can really help sides. ADF get the ball off the top, and Lockhart throws it out. It's a great inside run by Nicole Emsley. She's made about 15 meters there. ADF keep it in the forward. Sharon Laws making a couple extra meters. Lockhart goes to the right-hand side. They've not gotten over the advantage line. There's numbers out wide if they can move the ball. Sharon Laws get a couple extra meters for her team. South Australia have dived in there. Lockhart. Good hands to keep that one. ADF going sideways and now finally getting some space forwards. Chloe Butler looks to dive into the breakdown for South Australia. Kicks over the top. And a bit of pressure coming through on the runner. This could be an opportunity here for the ADF. But not to be. That was Mary Yakau.
Good chase by her. She had a stellar performance yesterday with all of her cover defence. She was brilliant on the wing.
Nice box kick there from South Australia just to relieve some of the pressure. Knew the ADF were on the charge. See what I did there?
I did. I did.
Just didn't acknowledge it.
Sorry. Good jokes, Pat.
So the ball is in for the ADF, and they get a rolling maul on. And the ball comes out through the backs, and they've gone a cut-out pass, and Mary Yakau just couldn't hold on to that one, but the ball is still good for Amy Carpenter. Hands here for ADF could lead to some options, but great defence from fullback from South Australia. Emily Bass. We've got a full-on penalty for the ADF. Do you take the points right in front here, Molly?
I think they're going to... Oh, no, here we go. They're going to go forward.
Here we go. That's a blistering run from Breanne Chatham. Lockhart goes to the right-hand side. That's Sharon Laws. It's a couple extra meters. Might be going to the pocket here from the referee.
They did that a couple of times yesterday, didn't they? The girls have got to be quite careful around that ruck.
South Australian captain Chloe Butler just chatting there. Can't get a number on that player at the moment. So here we go. ADF on the attack. Just a metre short of the line now. They go to the left, right near the post. This could be an opportunity. And it's a try, is it? Yes, it is. So the ADF have crossed the line and registered the first try of day 2, Molly Gray.
That was Danielle Close. New to the game, I think she started playing rugby union last year and she has been absolutely brilliant over the last 12 months. Yesterday, she made some amazing metres and she's playing really great this tournament. So it's good to see. That was a very deserving try from Danielle Close.
Yeah, excellent effort by the Australian Defence Force side to not panic. It takes the score to 8-0. So Nicole Hall with the kick. Right in front of the posts. And kick looks good. The flags are up. So ADF moving the game away from South Australia. Oh, it is early days. ADF 10, South Australia 0. So restart here by South Australia. And this is a great run by Trudy Cahill. She gets the ball just over the 22. And ADF playing with a bit more confidence now. South Australia have come away with it. That was a great steal. Alana Alicia just making a few metres. And South Australia look to get some points in this match. Attempted grubber through. That's a knock on both ways, so we'll have a scrum, attacking scrum for South Australia. So South Australia with the feed. That's Barbara Waddell. Feeds the ball in, looks to get it out, but it was close to offside by the ADF. But and that's a great push by South Australian centre Ebony Sattler. Phoebe Thomas gets a couple extra metres, gets the ball over the 22. Ball's been lost. The ADF now with an opportunity. They get a couple extra metres. Ball still good for ADF, but no advantage, so come back for the scrum. So Molly, South Australia probably be more looking for an attacking opportunity. He hasn't scored too many points this tournament. What would the South Australian girls be trying to do right now to get some points on ADF?
I think, obviously, their best bet would just be to get the ball in their hands, slow it down a little bit, and just start working on their phases. If I was them, I'd start working on punching it up with the forwards and then trying to work it wide. They did well when they went wide, but they, you know, their grubber didn't really work out last time. So I think maybe get it out wide and use Emily Bass over there, who's standing on the wing at the moment. Use her speed and her skill to try and get down the side of the field and score some tries. I think that's where they'll get the ADF team, is on the wing. But we'll see what they can do.
So this scrum is being reset. There's a bit of dew underfoot on the ground this morning. We had some rain here overnight on the beautiful Gold Coast. And to our viewers potentially overseas, should come and visit. The field has certainly held up well after day one of the championships here at Runaway Bay Sports Centre.
It has, hasn't it? I was expecting the field to be a little bit more torn up today, but it's holding out quite well with the
amount of scrums that was on it yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. And I think now that this game here, with the amount of scrums that these girls are having this morning, it might tear it up a little bit, but seems to be holding out quite well.
We're also going to have some, thanks to our production team, going to have some aerial footage later on to be able to see the action in bird's eye view here at Runaway Bay. Very exciting.
Haven't seen that before at the Women's 15s Nationals. That's going to be exciting for the girls.
Yep, another Women's 15s first, as we broadcast this tournament live on Rugby.com.au. And that ball not being tapped on the mark, that's a bit pedantic, I think, from the referee. They go for the corner. So ADF probably just a little bit out of position there on that far right-hand side. Lucy Lockhart had to do the chasing. So South Australia with an opportunity now. Can they get some points before half-time? Move the ball throughout the backs. And that goes. It's a good attacking opportunity. And they continue to make some meters. There's numbers out wide if they can move the ball. They go to Chloe Butler. Played for the Wallaroos in 2016. Here's Barbara Waddell. Ball goes to the left. Here we go. And this could be a try in the corner if they manage to keep it going. But the ADF defense is tested and answers the question. And pushes the ball into touch. I think that was Phoebe Thomas who was bundled into touch. An ADF covering tackle. Did you happen to get the number on that one, Molly? So the ADF have a line-out throw. There's Lockhart. Gets a couple extra meters and goes over just shy of the 22-meter line. Ball slow at the back. It's still good for the ADF. Lockhart with a little darting run. ADF a spread right if they can spread it out to the left. And that ball is become a counter-rucking battle, and South Australia may have this. No. Nicole King gets a couple extra meters. Front row for the Australian Defence Force. And penalty. Let's have a listen to the ref here. Chloe Butler just chatting as South Australian tight head prop Alicia Wilson sent to the sin bin. Lockhart kicks the ball into touch. So ADF been camped in their own half, Molly, but have managed to hold out South Australian Barbarians.
They have. They've done a really good job of, you know, working towards getting up the field against South Australia. I think now this is a good opportunity for them. I would love to see them start to shift the ball out through the centres and then out to the wing there and start using their winger, Lauren Fletcher, a little bit more because she's got some pace behind her. So it would be nice to see her out in some open field.
So a scrum, well, short arm penalty, and here goes South Australia. They move the ball quickly, and a kick over the top, spotting some space, but that's well covered by the ADF. Anna Carpenter was underneath that one, and she did very well to get that without fear. Lockhart gets the ball out, the young scrum half. Ball still good for the ADF. There goes Trudy Cahill. That's a huge counter-ruck effort from South Australia, putting pressure on Lockhart with the pass.
Some big runs there by Sarah Royden. She's such a powerful, powerful back. She's been making some really great metres throughout this game. She's actually been making some really great metres throughout this entire weekend. So hopefully we can see a little bit more from her. And it looks to be that she's one of the main backs who's really going to get these girls up the field towards their try line.
5 minutes to go in this first half, and it's the ADF 10 leading South Australia 0. As you can see on our screens on Rugby.com.au. Lazy drifting back there by a South Australian forward, getting in Lockhart's way. I'm always a big fan of the scrum half throwing it into the forward if they're drifting too slow. Here we go, the ADF move it wide. Looking like a great one by Laura Fletcher. She gets out of one tackle and it takes 4 to bring her to the ground. Lockhart finds Katie Damon. And that ball's been lost forward. Frustration there from the ADF. And you hear it from the South Australian defence. They're like, yeah, pressure. And that was pressure in defence, forcing the error.
It was a lot of pressure. They really gave it to the ADF team then, and it's obviously paid off. Now we'll see if they can do something here from this scrum. Hopefully they can. Be nice to see South Australia get some points on the board.
How nice, Molly?
It'd be very nice for them.
For them, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not for the ADF team, but definitely for the South Australian team. But obviously me being a little bit biased, I'd like to see ADF sail through the first and the second half with no points scored against them.
There's not enough Navy players to sail through. Oh!
That was good. I like that joke. It's probably the best joke I've heard you tell all weekend, Pat. Probably the only one.
A scrum just over halfway. And ball's fed in by South Australia. They go to that left-hand side. Oh, juggled there. Excellent effort by Alicia. And South Australia getting some metres. It was Chloe Butler with a great run. But straight in over touch, so a bit of a waste opportunity there.
Great tackle over the sideline by Sharon Laws there.
Yeah, ADF have been moving well wide in defence. That's probably the 4th covering tackle that bundled someone into touch this morning. got a scrum on that far side of the field. That scrum's been monstered. South Australia come away with it, but a counter-ruck by the ADF, playing advantage to South Australia. Here goes Alicia. Throws the ball on the inside to Butler. Butler throws it to no one and is eventually picked up by Phoebe Thomas, who will come back for that penalty. That player is well in front of the mark. And Barbara Waddell just moves back. Someone's lost a shoe. Always frustrating.
It is frustrating, Pat. There's nothing worse.
So quick tap, or slow tap here by the South Australian Barbarians. Some good meters there. Alicia. Throws the ball to Crystal. Jamel. Alicia again. ADF played is slow to get back up. Sarah Reardon. Chloe Butler throws the long cutout pass. And the ball's lost over that far sideline. Not really moving beyond that period of the field at the moment. And we're pretty close to half-time. Oh, the referee has blown half-time. So we're half-time here in day 2 of the Buildcorp National Women's 15s Championship. And it's the ADF 10 leading South Australia 0. Molly, your quick thoughts on the first half?
I think this morning, I think the game's taken off to a bit of a slow pace, but I think, you know, towards the end of that first half there, they started to pick it up a little bit. I think I would love to see South Australia sort of punch it up the field a little bit more, start using their forwards. There's a little bit of lateral running at the moment, so it'd be nice to see both teams straighten up a little bit more and start hitting that line really hard. But I think all in all, it's been a really great first half. Good to see the ADF side putting some points on the board and keeping South Australia out of their half.
Well, we'll come back for all the action of round 2 in just a few moments. So stay with us here on Rugby.com.au as we come back for the second half between the Australian Defence Force and the South Australian Barbarians.
The one that's sort of like where you can't see them there, but they're sort of behind them wearing like bright orange.
you hear when I
just
said
on
that
5
penalty,
minutes gone.
Nick?
Yes,
Nice sweating in it. So.
I feel like my skin is like. Yeah, it's half hour, so. Could I have a play off for injury? Talking about the injury. Play still good. How long have they got to go? 3 minutes.
welcome back to the second half of the Buildcorp National Women's 15s Championship clash between the Australian Defence Force and South Australia. Molly Gray, a frustrating first half for both teams. ADF leading 10-0. What do you think needs to happen in the second half for either South Australia to come back or ADF to close out this game?
Pat, I think at the moment it's quite an evenly matched game, but I think the ADF have just got up on South Australia by making some good decisions there, and they obviously took the points a couple of times as well, which got them on top. But all in all, I think it's quite an evenly matched game. I would like to see South Australia straighten up a little bit and start hitting that line and start working their way up the field there through the forwards and then sending it out wide. And I would like to see them again use Emily Bass out there on the edges. But we'll see what happens, although I am quite biased because obviously I am an ADF player originally, and I would like to see them win.
Well, we're about to find out as we restart into this second half, and that's a solid kick, but it's gathered by Brooke Moslin. And here we go, the ADF looking to run it out of their own half. Lockhart. Strong in the first half, in scrum half. She finds a fly half, and now the ball's, I think that's Sarah Reardon having a run. Yeah, just getting a couple extra metres as they march up towards halfway. Lockhart, good hands there. It's a solid run by Ali Cranston, but holding on is the call. So South Australia get an opportunity.
The girls have got to be really careful there with holding on. They just have to make sure that they work a lot harder on the ground to try and get that ball as far away from the opposition as they can. ADF were a little bit unlucky just then, but lucky enough that the ball didn't go out.
Gets out of one tackle, Lockhart. Ball's coming slow for the ADF. Here we go, the ADF with a quick tap off a full-arm penalty. That's a great inside ball. Lockhart looking to keep it in the forwards just for a bit. And here we go, they've made about 40 metres, the ADF. In the last three phases. Sharon Laws just gets a couple extra. And there's a lot more aggression and direct running by the ADF, but the ball's been lost forward. Just as I paid them that compliment, but better signs there. There was a lot more running lines and a bit more forward momentum there.
What's the release? Not releasing.
Good work by the ADF. It's good to see that they've come out this second half and they really are hitting those lines and they're hitting them hard. And they're sticking it to the South Australian defence because South Australia did have quite a strong defensive line in that first half. So it's really great that the ADF are hitting that line hard here in the second half.
Crouch!
That's an excellent defensive scrum. Great run there by Phoebe Thomas. So we'll have a scrum here. Another frustrating error. And South Australia make a couple of changes. Barbara Waddell feeds it in for South Australia, and Barbarians are standing deep. Look to get out of their own half, and again, they just run too close to that far sideline.
Great pressure by the ADF. They've really come out firing this second half. I think the coach might have got in their ear a little bit at halftime, and it's really put some fire in their bellies.
So South Australia with the ball. And there's numbers out wide if they can move it. Wrestled to the ground, but that's lost forward. Now an opportunity for the ADF. That was Alison Cranston. Just getting a couple extra metres. Now Sharon Laws. Lockhart looks for the ball. Brooke Moslin. Now another offload. Ball hasn't gone forward. Still good for the ADF. Mary Yakau secures the breakdown, and then running on the inside, Sarah Reardon. And that's definitely a penalty within kicking range, Molly.
It is, and I wonder if they're going to take the points. But good running by Sarah Reardon. She's been an absolute asset to the ADF team this year. Brand new to the Defence Force. She joined up just late last year after she debuted for the Wallaroos. So she came back to Australia, joined the Army, and she's doing such a great job in that back line for the ADF team here at the Nationals. And they've decided to go for the points again. Smart move. Nikki Hall will take the...
Just wait till after the kick.
Will take the kick.
Oh, what number? Number 2. The 2? Do it after the kick.
Nikki Hall setting up for a kick just off to the right-hand side of the posts. Sends it a little bit too far to the left.
Yep, that definitely was hooked, that one. So, score remains 10-0 in favour of the ADF. So now, an opportunity to attack for the armed forces. Lockhart dived on it, and luckily the ADF, sorry, South Australia were just too eager at that breakdown. They dived over the top.
Great kick by Lucy Lockhart as they now set up for a line out.
It's be interesting to see if there's an opportunity here for the ADF to perhaps score another try. Certainly need to show more try-scoring potential if they want to advance in this competition, and that's been lost as I say that.
You spoke too soon, Pat. Unfortunately, that throw was not straight by Nicole King. So now the ball is back over to the South Australian side. Let's see if they can get out of the 22.
Barbara Waddell feeds the ball in for South Australia. Lockhart was up in her face, but South Australia run back into traffic. Oh, bounced off in the tackle there. Chloe Butler throws Loves on the blind pass, and it could be on here for the ADF. Counter-attacking try. Fantastic effort by Laura Fletcher.
What an intercept, Pat. That was brilliant. I've been waiting to see
You
one
wanted
of
your
those all
intercept try
weekend.
at this tournament, and you've got one.
I've been waiting to see that all weekend. That's been brilliant. There's been a lot of attempts, but ADF, first team to do it this weekend. Brilliant effort.
Let's have a look at this replay. So South Australia in possession, and they're going one way, and then run back into traffic. And it was a solid run there by Ebony Sinatla, and then Chloe Butler threw a pass just a fraction too late, and Fletcher was able to regather and run away and score. And good hands there by Fletcher to keep control of the ball and have the cool head to not panic and get the ball to the line. So ADF looking to add the extras. And it's over. So ADF 17, South Australia 0. And Molly, finally the ADF scoring now 2 tries in this match, sort of moving this game away from South Australia.
I'm so stoked for them, Pat. I think they're doing an absolutely brilliant job, and it's good to see. They started off a little bit slow in that first half, but that's okay. And they've really stuck it to South Australia in the second half, and I think they're doing absolutely brilliantly.
That's certainly not the best restart we'll see today. Come into the middle of the field for a scrum.
ADF have got a really good opportunity here to make some more metres up the field.
The wind is starting to pick up here at Runaway Bay Sports Centre on the Gold Coast.
Got some clouds coming over again, Pat. Hopefully the rain will hold off, though, for the day. We've only got 4 games to get through, so it'd be nice to keep that rain away for a little bit.
So South Australia go to that left-hand side, and it's an excellent run by Sarah Reedon for the ADF. This is good from the ADF. Ooh, but a penalty to South Australia for diving over the top. So, South Australia look to have a trundle, and that's well secured by the forwards, but that ball's gone to no one. And Alicia throws that ball out wide. Keep the ball on that right-hand side of the field, but well met by a wall of ADF jerseys. And a knock on there by ADF. Just a bit of pressure in defence leading to that. Still 17-0 between the ADF and South Australia. And next up in today's matches, we'll have Victoria taking on New South Wales Country. And we'll have a commentary change, Molly, with yourself and Jordan Hughes from Bond University Rugby Club.
The next game should be quite interesting with Country versus Victoria. It should be a very evenly matched game. I'm quite excited to see what that game will bring.
That scrum's gone straight down. So Lockhart feeds the ball in. That scrum is under a lot of pressure. And we have a kick over the top by Nicole Hall. And South Australia regather. They're close to that touchline, just near our broadcast position. They keep the ball alive. Good hit in defence. That was Jasmine Diab. ADF looking to put the pressure on in D, and they're doing so. South Australia are going backwards, and they force the error. So the ADF controlling this game, Molly, even though they're not advancing the scoreboard too much.
They aren't, you're right, Pat, but they're putting some great pressure on the South Australian team, and it's good to see players like Jasmine Diab out on the field now. She's a veteran to the ADF side. She's been around for quite some time, definitely an experienced player to bring into the forwards for the ADF.
We're into the 47th minute mark of this match. And that's a better scrum from South Australia. They've monstered it, and they may have come away with it, but Lockhart dives on it. She may have saved her side. Applying advantage to the ADF for a knock-on. Another scrum, Molly. This is going to test the forwards today.
It's really going to test the forwards today, especially because we've now moved from 20-minute halves to 30-minute halves. So I think the forwards are going to be getting a little bit tired at the moment, but see what they can do.
As Eve Parker comes on for the ADF as a substitution in the front row.
Eve Parker, another very experienced player for the ADF side. Bring some more power to their front row.
And that ball's been stropped cold. That was Nicole Hall. Just had a look at the defence. Didn't go with the ball, so another scrum. Real battle here between the two forward packs.
Quite evenly matched scrums.
Get your shoulders up.
Yeah, can you just pass it?
Okay. Crouch! You're good. Sorry, I'm putting my so you don't headbutt me when you go to engage. I've got to move my
Seem to be
shoulder.
taking a while to set up for these scrums here.
Seconds.
Forwards must be getting a little bit tired, Pat.
Crab!
Yeah, it must be frustrating seeing the backs just drop the ball. Nicole Hall won't be popular in the hallways later on.
Another good joke from Patrick People.
Constant zingers. Constant zingers. And here comes the ADF on that far left-hand side. An opportunity here. That was Sharon Laws. Lockhart gives the ball on. This is good by the ADF. Just need to hold on to it now and to keep applying that pressure. There's space there if they can open it up. Nicole Hall goes fishing for the ball. Trudy Cahill gets a couple extra meters. Ooh, and that was well taken there by Yakau. He flirted with the touchline but stayed inside the field of play.
Great running by Sharon Laws. She's made some great meters throughout this game. Such a strong ball runner.
ADF keep it in the forwards. That ball's come loose. Who's going to get it? Lockhart does well, but Nicole Hall has again knocked it on with no pressure on it.
Yeah, it means I can have a grab at the ball. I don't mean to go back. You hadn't released to begin with once you'd gone down.
Lucy Lockhart has now left the field and she's been replaced by Renee Cross, who's taking over as scrum half. An experienced player there in Renee Cross, new to the ADF, but a very experienced rugby player.
You hit it and stay there, okay? Square up. Let's go.
Here we go, South Australia on the attack on that far right-hand side. Still got the ball in hand, South Australia. Numbers here, not a lot of space. Well met in defence. Chloe Butler, what can she do? She gets a couple of extra metres. They're going backwards, South Australia, but full-on penalty for offside. That might be why they were going backwards. And they take it quickly. ADF are all off. Chloe Butler sitting hard in the tackle, but offloads well. She's slow to get up, but does so, almost cops the ball in the face. South Australia move it to the right-hand side. Alicia. And that's been knocked on, but a better passage of play by the SA Barbarians.
Doing a great job there of making some metres and really shifting that ball around the field.
So another wheeled scrum. So we passed in the 54th minute of this match, so not long to go now. So an opportunity for Australian Defence Force. That was a well-hit tackle. Sharon Laws steps off her inside and gets a couple extra metres. Not releasing, and they take it quickly.
Great quick tap there by Renee Cross, who then offloads to Esha Nonna, who makes some great metres up the centre of the field.
Made about 15 metres. Renee Cross goes herself. There was a gap just opening up. Can the ADF get a third try? South Australia holding them out at the moment.
You can hear the excitement of the ADF girls on the side of the field there.
Ball still good for the ADF. And there's numbers forming. Just need to be patient with the ball. We go to that right-hand side. Nicole Hall passes it out wide. This is an opportunity. Here's Mary Yakau. Can she score in the corner? No. Bundled into touch.
Unfortunate there for the ADF girls, but God, they worked it up the field there. Let's see if they can steal the ball back in this line out.
Ball taken in the line out there by South Australia. They're in dangerous territory in their 10-ball zone.
Great defence by the ADF team.
So we'll come out for the 5-metre scrum. Good pressure there by the ADF. So my apologies there. They've called that as a try. So we missed that one. We'll have a look at this replay. So in our excitement, we missed that. Let's just have a look at what happened. So Nicole Hall going for the kick. Coaches nailed that one, taking it to 24-0, ADF over South Australia. Just have a look at what happened. So, ADF had possession, and that's just the lead-up play to that line-out. Some excellent run there by the ADF. But it was excellent pressure by the ADF to lead on to that try.
Great pressure. They worked really hard for that one. Ball's taken up now by Sharon Laws. Great run by her, met by a really strong South Australian defence.
South Australia looking worse for wear, having defended a lot of this game. But a loose pass. We'll have a scrum. Oh, that's an excellent effort by South Australia. For a team that's only just recently come together, they're really playing well together as a team.
Bit of a Barbarians team here. The team's mostly made up of Queenslanders, I've heard. I think there's actually only 4 South Australian originals in this South Australian team.
Well, South Australia get well within the ADF's defensive zone. Can they finish with a try here? They throw it out wide, just need the ball to stick. No. And that'll be full time in this first match of day 2 of the Buildcorp National Women's 15s Championship. ADF taking the game 24-0 to finish their pool with 2 wins and 1 loss. South Australia unable to get some points in this match. Molly, ADF and South Australia now done for today, but ADF, they can be reasonably happy with that performance.
I think they could be absolutely stoked with that performance, Pat. I think yesterday they showed some really great rugby with their first game against Western Australia, and then they were met by the very strong Sydney side, and you can tell that they've obviously learnt a lot from that game as they've put on a great performance here today against the South Australian side, and well done to them. It was a great win. Well,
there's plenty more action coming up today on Rugby.com.au, so don't go away, because next up we have Victoria taking on New South Wales Country, and that's certainly going to make for an interesting clash. Both sides showing plenty of promise yesterday, and be interesting to see how they go in their final pool match. And Jordan Hughes and yourself, Molly Gray, will be here for that call, so stick around. We'll have a quick break. We'll be back on Rugby.com.au.